the Something Else Music. Welcome back to another episode of the Something Else Music. Don't know why I put a "the" on the front of that, I never do that. This one's interesting because I predominantly listen to metal and rock, that sort of thing, and I got very interested, excuse me, I'm still suffering from man flu, but I got very interested in some articles around certain musicians or artists, such as, let's think, I know, Machine Gun Kelly. Now, he has, I don't know if it's still going on to be fair, but he's got a bit of beef, as they call it. He's got a feud with Eminem at the moment about lyrics he said over Eminem's daughter Hailey. The fact that they're all adults at this point is obviously not seen. So, yeah. Going in off the topic of the feud, but what I really wanted to talk about was Machine Gun Kelly himself. And not so much with the Eminem chapter, but with Corey Taylor of Slipknot. So let me just have a drink. See, I'm still suffering from having a viral infection which almost killed me. It didn't, but it felt like it. Drinking Iron Brew today. Sweet goddamn nectar. Anyway, so the feud, or the kind of thing going on with Machine Gun Kelly and Corey Taylor, I'll try and summarise it as much as possible. But basically, what's happened is they were supposed to be working on a track at some point. So I think Corey Taylor was asked to go on Machine Gun Kelly's album and do some vocals. Obviously, his vocals are legendary. But it didn't quite work or something like that. And Corey Taylor basically said, look, I'm really happy you wanted me on the label, but it's just not me. It's not going to work, blah, blah, blah. And then, I can't remember the ins and outs of it properly, but then Machine Gun Kelly said, he's basically mixed up the words by calling, making out as if Corey Taylor's been insulting him via the record and everything. But then he's saying, like, why would he want to go and see a bunch of 52-year-old men wearing masks on stage? He was like, just grow up. And he was like, whoa, hang on. And then all these text messages came out, obviously. Emails as well. But it was, it was just going back and forth. And, like, the thing that really stuck out for me was, I can't remember the festival it's just done, Machine Gun Kelly, that is. But like all these Slipknot fans were just hassling him, like booing him, swearing at him, chucking bottles at him, basically booed him off the stage. And like everyone's jumped on the bandwagon, like Trivium guitarist, singer dude, Matt something, I forgot his name, but he's got on board and he's like basically attacking. I don't want to say attacking, that's a very strong word, but he's siding with Corey Taylor, put it that way. And it just made me think, you know what, Machine Gun Kelly is one of them people that people just hate. Like, when he dyed his tongue black, and you're like, come on. You're going out with one of Hollywood's, like, wow actresses, or actors, rather. Megan Fox. What the hell are you doing? Didn't he just get, like, a signature guitar as well off, was it Schecter? He just got a signature guitar from them as well. And, like, I saw the video of him trying to smash it and I'm like, what are you doing, man? But that really, excuse me, inspired me to write this list of, I didn't actually title this, crap. People of music which the world hates. There we go. So, like, I'll probably just throw some of my own personal ones in, but I went on a couple of lists just to see who, like, the main ones were. So I've narrowed it down to 1, 2, 3. I've narrowed it down to 4 with one, like the main one. So the first one, it had to be Justin Bieber. I mean, as much as some of his songs, like he did a song, was it As Long As You Love Me? I don't know why, but I really like that song. Music video is a bit intense because it's very cinematic. But like, he's not a bad singer. I mean, I'm not sure if he writes a lot of his own stuff. I'm probably going to say no because we all remember, baby, baby, forget it. But yeah, and it's like, why do people hate him? And the very fact was he was just kind of thrown at us, forced on us, and just constantly played. I mean, wasn't it Usher that found him on YouTube, which is awesome to be found by someone like Usher. That's amazing. But just let it burn, Usher. But yeah, he was excuse me, forced on us. You know, there was that video of him spitting on his fans. I mean, that is disgusting. Like, it's one of them ones where he got fame far too quick. Like, he was 16 when he came onto the scene of music and being in the world's eye sort of thing. I mean, there's that picture of him. I don't know if it's like at an airport or something, but he's got his blonde hair and moustache. He looks like a hobo, and you think, really, is that what this has come to? But it's what it is, isn't it? Really, it was just thrown at us. No one really wanted him. His music isn't the best. He's had a couple of good tracks, but the way he treated his fans. I've wrote Neighbours, but I can't remember what that was about. I think he like trashed one of their gardens or something like that. But like he just went through a phase, just like pretty much every young star gets, not just in music, but in like movies or something, or even in gaming. They'd go through a patch where they just go mental. Lindsay Lohan did it. Paris Hilton did it. Hilary Duff, I think it was. Is she the one out of She's the Man? But you get my point. A lot of them go off the rails. And, excuse me, he was exactly the same. He went off the rails. I mean, he's back on the rails, obviously. He's doing pretty good. But, you just think, come on, man. Take the hint. Then, obviously, you've got all his bloody saga with Selena Gomez and all that. But anyway, we move to the second one. Courtney Love. Now, she gets a lot of heat for a lot of bad things. I mean, the one thing I do give credit to her for is the fact that she does her thing. She doesn't really not listen to people, but what you see is what you get. So it's like she's not afraid to speak her mind, which is good. Obviously, there's a massive feud between her and the remaining members of Nirvana, which is only 2. Excuse me. But she does get a lot of heat, like especially back in the days when, what's her name? Frances Cobain, when she was younger. So her parenting style was questioned. The fact that she was a massive druggie, that always got thrown at her face. And possibly the biggest one ever was Kurt Cobain's death, because there's a massive conspiracy theory that she had people hired to kill him. I mean, that could be a podcast in itself, really. Because wasn't there a documentary? Wow, that cough spiked. Jesus. Wasn't there a thing where some guy came forward and said, yeah, she paid him X amount of money to kill Kurt Cobain. Then not long after that interview was made, he was found dead by like the train tracks. It's a bit weird. But it is crazy. Like, I mean, what do you believe? Do you think she did it? I mean, she's a weird person. I mean, I don't actually know what the feud with her and like David Grohl actually is. I mean, excuse me. I know she obviously with the whole Kurt Cobain thing, and she seemed very much like just from like a quick perspective of it, like how Amber Heard was with Johnny Depp. It's like she was the master and he was the puppet. Nice reference. You know what I mean, though? It always seemed like she was orchestrating everything that was going on. It's really weird. But yeah, even in the music industry, not many people like her, but I think it does descend from Kurt Cobain. It's not fair for her, especially, but she's tough. Like I said, she pretty much does whatever she wants. Which moves me on to my next one, which is not a transition at all because they don't even link. Chris Brown. Pardon me. Now, I remember when he came on this scene, because I think he was like Justin Bieber was like 16 or something, and like the thing that annoyed me with Chris Brown was like pretty much every one of his songs sounded exactly the same, but it was always like, I'm 16 and I got blah 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 blah, I'm 16 and I got, he just kept referencing the fact that he was 16. I'm like, I don't give a shit, just make a good song, man. But that's not what kind of make people hate him. So we'll start with the most famous one, Rihanna. So I remember going to college and reading the Metro, if you're from from the UK. I don't know if the metro's like a whole thing, like across the country, but especially in Brum. But we had the Metro reading, it was a free newspaper, or still is, and pretty much the first page was just a bruised and bitten face of Rihanna, and it was because Chris Brown had assaulted her, punched her, he kicked her, he bit her on the head of all places. Like, there's no, I mean, she has a huge head, but come on, Chris Brown. I mean, I don't condone biting people unless you're doing it in a sexy way, and in that case, keep it to yourself, because that's rude. But it was like another case of someone making it too big, you know what I mean? So like he's got all this money, he's got all the fame, and what does he do? He just ruins everything. And you generally find that George Best, the footballer, all the money in the world, raving alcoholic, and he went through 2 livers and then died. Didn't deserve them. But this is the case. Like, maybe it's because they become invincible. You know, nothing can stop them. It's rockstar syndrome, isn't it? But yeah, so he assaulted Rihanna. Then there's other cases of rape that he's been accused of. And assault with weapons. Now, it didn't really go on. The article I was reading, it didn't really give me much info because, excuse me, I was trying to just like find like which ones occurred the most. So the ones I'm reading are the ones that occurred the most. So I didn't really look into the actual allegations of them. It's just why people hated them. And I mean, his does ascend from the fact that he looks like a cocky bastard. I was reading comments on one of the articles, and it was, I don't mind his music, I just hate his face. I was like, wow, powerful words. But again, another one. I mean, Justin Bieber and Chris Brown I would say, fall in that category of too much too soon, don't know what to do with it, be an absolute massive twat. Now the next one, it's quite funny with this next one because everyone knows, if you use Spotify, or people that use Spotify know, that their algorithm is just as fucked up as YouTube. So you could be listening, for instance, normally my playlist 1, my mix 1, that's like heavy metal and rock. But I listen to one like pop song, and now it's just flooded with crap I don't need to listen to. But in my playlist 2, that was generally, like blues, R&B, that sort of thing. But then Guns N' Roses appeared. Yeah. Excuse me. And it was interesting because I was listening to the lyrics. Like, I really love Axl Rose. This one's obviously about Axl Rose. But I was listening to how he delivers his phrasing of the lyrics, the way he harmonizes himself, you know, and he was brilliant. His delivery is fantastic. Especially in the older days when he had a bit more gruff behind it, but that's because he just didn't really know how to sing correctly. But I was listening to the words and I was like, you know what? His lyrics are brilliant. I really love the way he wrote. But then I remembered many, many things about the man, from watching footage to the interviews to people talking to him, and I realised just how much he was a massive cock. So, I mean, Rihanna, the whole Chris Brown thing, she's famous for like having gigs, and Justin Bieber, to be fair, postponing gigs or making people wait too long. My God, Axl Rose, I don't think he ever did a gig on time. He was always late. Never give a reason, then he'd be in a foul mood. There's a wicked video on YouTube, and it's a fan. I don't know the ins and outs. All I can tell you is there's a fan taking pictures. Axl Rose clocked it and obviously thought, you're not taking my picture for free. So he's shouting at the security to basically take the camera. And then he basically is like, fuck it, I'll do it myself. And he jumps at this person. I'm not sure if he gets the camera, but he gets back on stage, grabs the mic and shouts something like, thanks to the lame ass security, we're going home. Just mic drops everyone and walks off, and the rest of the band's kind of like, And then there's another one where someone's throwing pennies at him. Or rocks, I can't remember, and then he's just like, screw it, we're going home. So not only does he I don't know if he still does it now, obviously, but not only did he start gigs late, he would just walk out on them, so he could be 5 minutes into the set and bump is gone. Another one which I don't think this is like massive, like unless you have understanding of the band and just how mental he was. But like, unless you played in a band, this doesn't really affect you. But like, in the bands I've been in, And we've all said, like, if we ever made it big or whatever money we make, we'll split it equally. So, for instance, the band I'm in now, there's 3 people. So whatever we make, we'll split it 3 ways. Generally, we just put it in a kitty so we can use it at a later date for something that will benefit the band. But Axl Rose, no. He very much he was the sole writer, really. Like, he'll do the lyrics, he'll do everything in his mind. So he would take the bigger percentage, then Slash would take the second biggest, and then, you know, the second guitarist, the bassist, the drummer. So everyone got less and less and less. And that's a dick move to make, especially when you're one of the biggest bands, you know. In his younger days, he was hot as hell. I mean, especially when he did that weird snake dance. Jesus Christ, watch Welcome to the Jungle. You'll know what I'm on about. So I've put stopping shows, the picture taking. The thing as well was, like, he was such an arrogant arse. Like, he knew he was good. He knew he had that sex appeal. He knew he had the voice and everything. And he just abused it. And again, I think he just wanted to be famous. He just wanted to be on stage and just own that stage. Pardon me. And I'm going to call it the Gene Simmons syndrome, where if they think they're God, they think they're powerful. I mean, going away from Axl Rose, because I hate Gene Simmons. Like, he's made some great songs. I love his costume, I love the bass. But anyone that tries to, can the camera pick this up? Anyone that tries to copyright that sign is an absolute twat. Now, because we all know Dio made the Maloik, you know, the horns. He made that famous, and that was all because of his nan, or I think it was his grandma. Yeah, it must have been. And when he was little, she used to cast the Maloik at him, which is to warn off evil spirits or to give someone the eye. So you can give someone an evil eye or protect them, basically. And then that one is Spider-Man. I don't care what you say, it's Spider-Man. Gene Simmons tried to do that. Didn't he try and, like, copyright the air he breathed or something like that at one point? But here's another one. He's just such, like sometimes he says really valid things, and other times it's just pure spiel that comes out. He's an absolute knob. And it just, excuse me, just really does me head in, because it's like, do they hear themselves speak sometimes? You know what I mean? Do they actually listen? But, you know, who are we to say, you know, they're only famous and rich and everything, wearing weirdly tall, well, high shoes. But I just want to try and think of some more before I go on to my last one, because my last one, it's good. Let me just drink this. Actually, pardon me. I think I thought of another one. I haven't. No, I'm excuse me. It's like, I'm trying to think of people, like, I'm like, I don't get the hype, like Beyonce, don't get the hype around her. I don't think she's got a fantastic voice. She can sing, but I wouldn't say it's like I don't know, oh my god, it's not like she's the next Aretha Franklin or the next Etta James or Irma Franklin. She's not one of them. Like, it's like Adele. Lovely voice. I mean, the fact that when she speaks, she sounds like an angel, but then when she talks, she sounds like common muck. But I don't get the hype. I don't get it. Now, someone like Florence Welch, Florence and the Machine, perfect singer. Someone like Sia, perfect singing. But the others, they just sound like generic singers. I'm trying to think of some, like, other people that just make me think, you know what, you annoy me. I mean, it's just crazy, really. It's like, I really like Lady Gaga. I think she's a fantastic singer. Very original. I'll tell you another one. Billie Eilish, is it? Like, I don't like her music. It's so boring. Like, lyrically, it's actually pretty good. But, like, the general sound of it, like, I mean, granted, I've only heard, like, the main songs you'd hear on the radio, so I haven't really listened to an album or anything. But I just don't get the hype. Really don't get the hype. It's just whispering. She's basically doing, was it ASMR? That's what she's doing, just whispering. And then it's like everyone jumps on the bandwagon of, like, oh, she's wearing baggy clothes, and now she's not wearing baggy clothes, and then she's like, this is why I'm doing it, and now this is why I'm not doing it. I'm like, just leave the poor bastard alone. But I don't do her music. It's a bit shit for me. Who else is there? Uh, Back in the days, no one like. This is probably going to stir a few crowds, but Elvis Presley, like not just him, but that kind of atmosphere, excluding. Because I had this debate ages ago with my mate in college. Like he asked me the question because he did not like, well, not like he didn't really know anything about rock or country. He was very much into his R&B, his rap. You know, he was into that kind of street. And he said once, "Why do people hate Elvis but love Johnny Cash?" And I said, because Elvis Presley stole songs and Johnny Cash wrote songs. And he said, "How do you mean?" So, oh no. What's that film? It's based... Oh, hang on. Is it Cadillac Records? Hang on. I've got to search this. This will absolutely do my head in otherwise. Sugar Records? It is a film. It is a film. So, was it 2008? No, I'm just checking out the film, man. Where is it? I just want the plot summary, damn it. So the film I'm on about, or was going to mention, is called Cadillac Records. It came out in 2008. To summarise it off the IMDb website, it chronicles the rise of Chess Records and its recording artists. In this tale of sex, violence, race, and rock and roll in the 1950s Chicago, Cadillac Records follows the exciting but turbulent lives of some of America's musical legends, including Muddy Waters, Leonard Chess, Little Walter, Howlin' Wolf, Etta James, and Chuck Berry. So I told him to watch this film, and it was all because... there's a song, and it's something about driving a Cadillac. Now, I do feel bad because I can't remember who did it, but basically, the black singers, or singers of colour, they did this song, and it's proper, like, it was like James Brown, but that's essentially what it was. It was, you could feel the music, and then it didn't really get anywhere because of the era, you know, the 50s, and then it, I don't have to say it without saying bad, but a white artist got hold of it, and it just went into proper, like, bland Cliff Richard style, you know what I mean? It went from, like, just soul to just crap. And this is what I was trying to explain to my friend. It was the fact that a lot of singers back then, they would hear these underground, you know, because it was up and coming artists, they would hear these songs, be like, wow, that's a good song, then try and make it their own, then they would get famous for it. It's absolutely shocking. I can't even play it. And that was what I was getting at, where Johnny Cash, he was very much like, he stood up for the smaller singers, because he was like, what the hell, man? He loved listening to soul and everything, so he was like, why are you nicking this? I mean, he had a very distinct sound, bear in mind, but like, wasn't was it Jailhouse Rock? Hang on. Original. There's a song and I can't remember who it was. Oh, I'm not sure. I'd have to Google it again, but spend a bit more time on it. But basically, what was happening was a lot of the artists were just taking the songs and not even crediting them. Compared to like now, as you so much as have like one bar that sounds similar, you're screwed. And then that's what was happening. A lot of people were nicking the songs and not giving credit to him. Whereas Johnny Cash, he was, you know, he was singing about these people, like not the down and outs, but the ones that were being robbed, essentially. Like when he found out that he had a like native Indian heritage, he was just like, wow, this is amazing. But yeah, but that's enough spiel, because I'm trying to think of other people that are annoying me, but I want to get to this main one. Now, this is where it gets tough, because even though I wouldn't say I'm a comical person, but I'm humorous in certain things, but this one isn't funny at all. This one's serious, to be fair, so I'm gonna need another drink for this. I keep coughing, you see. So, basically, number 5 or number 1 on my list of people that the music or the world hates is R. Kelly. And I'm not going to get into details of it because I don't really want to highlight what he did, because it's everywhere. You could Google it, you could see it if he was really messed up. But I'll highlight some of the smaller, less explicit details. So one of my favourite singers of all time, she died. When did she die? Let me just Google it. Excuse me. So, does it give me... I'll have to use the old Wikipedia on this one. So this artist was born in 1979 and died in 2001. So she was, 22 when she died, okay? See, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, because I normally say Aaliyah, but when I see the 2 A's, I say Alia. So, yeah, she... Okay, so I'm looking at how they pronounce it. It's Aaliyah. So, Aaliyah? Anyway, she was probably one of the best upcoming artists ever. She had some of the best music of it, like that More Than a Woman song. That was in Romeo Must Die, I think. But like, she was epic. For me, she had quite a distinct voice in that time, in like the late 90s, early 2000s. But the thing that's horrible is, let me see if I can get the actual ages. So, bear in mind, she was born in 79? Pardon me, 79. So in 1994, she married R. Kelly. So I'm just reading here. With the release of Ain't Nothing But a Number, which she sang, but R. Kelly wrote it, and it was heavily aimed at the fact that obviously he's a lot older than she was at the time. There was rumours that there was a relationship between her and R. Kelly, including the allegation that they had secretly married without her parents' knowledge. Later revealed a marriage certificate that listed a couple married on the 31st of August 1994. She was 15 at the time, but was listed as 18 on the certificate. Come on, that's a bit messed up, man. They did deny the marriage allegations, saying that neither were married. She developed a friendship during the recording of her debut album, and they would go to the movies, go and eat and everything. It was just a messed up thing. It's just horrible. And obviously, sadly, she died in a plane crash, which was horrible, really. But that's one of the things that he did. He basically married a child. Not the worst thing he's ever did. A couple of the other things was he was trafficking people. Jesus Christ, wasn't he trafficking women as well? That's what he's been charged for, apart from other things. But the girls that were with him, like his entourage or like his girlfriends, whatever you want to class them as, like he basically controlled them, so they weren't allowed to dress by themselves. Like he would make them wear certain things. They would only spoke when being spoken to. They couldn't even go to the bathroom without his say so. They couldn't eat unless he said, and that they had to eat what he said. Like, for a man that done some of the greatest songs, well, what's that song? I forgot his main song. What is it? I Can Fly. I believe. I don't know why. R. Kelly. I believe. Is it I Believe I Can Fly? Yeah, it's just called I Believe. So you've got I Believe, you've got Ignition, which is horrible. Then you got that The World's Greatest Song. I love that one. There was a really awesome video someone did, and it was like a dedication to Hulk Hogan. It was brilliant. But like, I was having this argument or debate with someone saying like, just because he's done all these, oh God, I'm knocking my table. Because he's done all these great songs, I'm knocking my table again. Even though he's done all these great songs, that shouldn't be like accepted because, or should it? Oh, what was that? What was the point we made? Basically, even though he's done all these great music, what he's done is horrific. There's loads like it, like Jerry Lee Lewis, Great Balls of Fire. He married his cousin and she was like underaged, and it's like, what in the fuck? You know what I mean? All of them, Michael Jackson, look at all the shit he went through with children, and I mean, it's never really been proven, but it has never been thrown out. But does that take it away that he was one of the best musicians or singers or whatever you want to class him as, best artist that the world's ever had? You know what I mean? But it's like, with R. Kelly, there is a video of him performing certain things and having things performed to him. And then he starts urinating on said performer, and you're like, seriously, man. Like, and yet people still love this dude. And I find it really bizarre. I mean, I'm not saying like rock doesn't have that, like metal and everything, like there's some crazy ass people in there. But it's generally because like they're insane. Where this dude, like what he was doing was awful. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there's, if it's something like this, there's always got to be something there. And from that age as well, trying to marry a fucking 15-year-old. And I think that's what makes people just hate him, because it was like a bluff, wasn't it? Everything you saw via the media of his music, it was like, yeah, this dude's awesome, but behind the things, you never knew what he was doing. And I think that's what makes it scary, because you never really know. I mean, this isn't music related, but you look at Jimmy Savile. I mean, he looked like a fucking creep. But Johnny Rotten, I mean, I'm not into punk all that much, but Johnny Rotten did say himself, was it with Piers Morgan? Or someone, it was like an interview with whoever. And he was on there as like, he is now. But they played an interview of him like back in the old days, like the 70s. And I don't know it word for word, but basically, in the interview he had back when he was younger, he was saying like, there's always something going on. He's like, look at Jimmy Savile, he does all sorts of unmentionable things that we're not allowed to talk about or something like that. And then literally, in the present time of the show, he's like, wasn't I right? Look what's happened, wasn't I right? And that's the thing. It is probably being told, but no one listens. Like, Johnny Rotten did it himself, but no one listened because he was classed as, just another youth, another disruptive anarchist sort of thing. And that's the sad part about it. There was probably signs for all of these dudes, but especially R. Kelly. But that's going off topic. I think the topic is people we hate, especially in the music industry. I mean, how there's tons in like fame generally, but yeah. Are there any musicians or artists or people in the music industry that you just think, just get out right now? You can't even stand, like, for instance, my mom loves listening to Elton John, but she cannot stand the sight of the man. And that's like me with David Bowie. Is it Bowie or Bowie? Because he named his daughter Bowie. Didn't him and Mark Bolan have a bet where if Mark Bolan had a boy, he would have to name him Roland Bolan, and if David Bowie had a daughter, she would be Zoe Bowie, because that's hilarious. But anyway, have a think about things, or like I said, people in the music industry that you think, I can't stand them, and let me know. But thank you very much for tuning into this one. Excuse the amount of coughing I did because I've got man flu. But I will see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.